be alone today, but that's not terribly surprising for Thanksgiving
No, with the
week.
holiday and everything.
Yeah. But I
Crystal always
purposely
says,
didn't cancel Pamela's meeting yet because I didn't want people to get confused. So I was going to do that, after this meeting.
I
But
think you have to cancel that one. I mean,
oh,
that's,
absolutely. But I'm saying I didn't
yeah,
formally
it
do
makes
it because I
sense.
didn't want
Yeah,
people to get confused.
of
Yeah.
course. It makes sense. Yeah,
Okay.
that makes total sense. Hmm. Yeah, Crystal often says how it's really important that we have these meetings during the holidays because holidays are
Absolutely.
very stressful and we don't want them
Hmm.
stressful.
Right.
Yeah. We don't want this to be.
How long do you want to meditate for?
Um,
Can start my timer.
let's just see if turning it off and on, maybe reset it.
Okay.
Because literally, I think, I mean, it was like, it wasn't, I didn't drop it in the hot tub or anything,
Hmm.
which could happen. I've done that before and it's been fine, actually. The old drop it in the lake. I've dropped it in the lake. I've dropped it in hot. Not
Oh,
lately,
Padma.
thankfully.
Oh dear.
Let's see. Is it giving me the I don't think it's giving me the message. It doesn't seem to be giving me the message. So
That's good.
yeah. Yeah, I came down. I got up this morning. All the lights are on in the house. Doors unlocked. Turned everything off. Watched the sunrise. Went on a hike. Came back. Fridge is open. I'm like, kids, what are you doing here? I said to my housemate, I said, Michelle, like, you know, oh, okay, great. Um, yeah, consciousness. There's this thing called being conscious that is so important. So what do we
Mhm.
think? Should we just meditate? I mean, we want to today is about belonging, which is really an important topic, actually. So maybe we'll just have a conversation about it and see if anybody comes. I think I'm going to read something about belonging from Atlas of the Heart before Brene Brown's book, Atlas of the Heart, one of her books, because then we can meditate on it. Because this is a community where rare givers belong. You, as a rare giver, belong. So, page, let's see, because it's about connection. Okay, so she says, let me make sure it's her saying it. Yeah. We have to belong to ourselves as much as we need to belong to others. Any belonging that asks us to betray ourselves is not true belonging. True belonging is the spiritual practice of believing in and belonging to yourself so deeply that you can share your most authentic self with the world and find sacredness in both being a part of something and standing alone in the wilderness. True belonging doesn't require you to change who you are. It requires you to be who you are. So that's our theme, is belonging and how it serves and supports us to belong. And as a rare giver, you might feel like you don't belong. And you do. You belong here with us. So, so just taking some breaths and we're going to meditate. meditate. We'll just meditate for 7 minutes and see where you feel like you do belong and where you belong to yourself, because that's the first belonging. Where do you belong to your own heart? So making yourself comfortable, letting your spine be long and relaxed. Just letting yourself be at ease in yourself. And just notice if you feel like you belong to yourself. What's it like to let your attention sink in, sink down, so you can belong to yourself? Belonging to yourself is belonging to your own heart. This tender heart that receives you unconditionally. With every breath, you can surrender to belonging. Let yourself be received by your own heart. Because when you feel at home, when you feel that you belong in yourself, then you are moving through the world with an inherent sense of belonging, which can be especially useful as a rare giver, because you and your family may feel like you don't belong in various neurotypical contexts. So it's this internal embodiment, internal experience of I belong. So that in those moments where somebody, perhaps in your family, extended family, community, responds to you or reacts to you in such a way that you feel like you don't belong or like you are the other, you can rest into this inner sense of belonging. Just feel where you might be able to receive or welcome those parts of you or those moments of feeling excluded, of feeling like you didn't belong or you don't belong. Just welcome them into this deep, warm space of belonging. Welcoming yourself with open arms, just as you are. Just breathing, resting, resting into belonging. But if every breath is the breath of belonging, a continuous invitation, reminder, signal that you belong. And you belong here in our wonderful community. Just take a few minutes and we will journal. Let's reflect on the experience of belonging in ourselves and belonging in this community. So we'll just take 3 minutes and do that. Just finishing up, and then we'll see what's here, and we'll just have some moments to share. Let's just see if you're going to come back, Christine, or yeah, it's the holiday weekend or week. Is there anything you want to say about belonging before you need to go and take care of your mom?
I mean, I think it's really timely for this week. This topic, to remember that we're not alone and we do belong somewhere. Um, and we have this community, even if, we may not have the most supportive family around us.
Yeah. So how will that, I think this is really important if you just have a few minutes to chat about it. Do you need
Yeah,
to on your mom or anything?
no, we're good for now. Yeah.
I mean, because I think this is something, right? Because often we think, oh, it's holidays, we're going home, we're going to be with family, like, and that's a given that we belong in our extended family, which we do, right? By blood or by
Hmm.
marriage or whatever. And yet we don't. So, what are some things that you feel like will support you to really drop into the sense of belonging while you're in that? And I don't know, maybe your family that doesn't arise with your family, but what are some things that would you could do?
I mean, I think just generally, people need to remember that, we're all here for each other.
Mhm.
Um, and the holidays can be super stressful.
They can.
Um, so, this is a good time to remember your, let's call them the extended family,
Yeah.
your rare community. Um, reach out, even if maybe you don't need the support someone else might, just check on each other. I guess that's all I wanted to sort of convey to everyone.
Yeah.
Um, it doesn't have to be stressful, and it will be, but
Like, so what will you do? Are there any practices that you feel like you've learned here or anywhere that will
um,
kind of help you? Because what are some situations like we've talked about this in the past? Like you're somewhere and there are the cousins, right? The cousins are there and the cousins are looking at colleges, or the cousins are performing in the school play, or the cousins are, you know, winning, they're on this, athletic team and
mhm.
playing in the varsity, or, and so like, how do you navigate that?
I mean, I think it's a delicate balance of, still being happy for them. You can still celebrate them, even though it can be really tragically upsetting at the same time. Um, yeah, so I think it's a little bit of protecting your heart and, still having the capacity to be happy for them and to celebrate them because, those things are awesome, even if your child is not making those milestones.
So I'm hearing like really tend to your heart as you're
Yeah.
also celebrating the cousins and the milestones. And so, what might it look like to tend to your heart? How do you take care of yourself? That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Well, I guess I feel like, everyone in their own time was the last thing I wanted to say previously.
Yes.
It's okay. It's all okay.
Right. So the
Um,
acceptance piece.
I mean, like practices, I mean, definitely the meditations, some breathing, because that's easy to do
Yeah.
even
Some
when you're in a
tapping.
room full of people,
Yeah. And also be willing
just
to
being
leave,
mindful.
be mindful and be willing to leave the room. If you're upset,
Absolutely. Yes.
you can disengage. You can just say, excuse me, I need a moment. So those like 5-minute walks around the block, or
Hmm.
retreating to the bedroom in your parents' house or your cousin's house or whatever it is, and breathing, or just letting yourself have your feelings, like real, or journaling, right? Any of the
Hmm.
things, or going to someone is safe, like your husband or your sister or someone who is, because there will be relatives, it seems like, who get you, and some who don't. Some who are just like making all these assumptions and maybe like meaning well, but at the same time being kind of unconscious and hurtful a little bit, even, or not a little bit.
Right. Right. Right.
I've heard people talk about like mother-in-laws or mothers that just somehow don't get it, you know like
Hmm.
when somebody doesn't get it, there's that immediate feeling of like, I don't belong here.
Hmm. And also, I mean, like if you know it's going to be super stressful and, there's like not great relationships, like maybe don't go. Maybe just start your own traditions. Like you don't have to put
Yeah, that's
yourself
right.
and your family through a difficult situation.
Yeah, so true. And that's a hard thing to do, is to take a
Absolutely.
stand for, actually, this is not going to work for me
Hmm.
and my family, because it will
Hmm.
cause too much stress, either the travel or just being there, or all the system structures, meds, whatever you have to put in place to hang out, or the fact that the cousins get your child or children super riled up, or they can't do it and they get frustrated, or there's so many ways that it could just, you know, create a collision, disturbance. So I love that you're saying that you don't have to go.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Exactly.
start your own rituals, your own holiday
Hmm.
rituals.
Right.
Have that work for your family.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's really true. There's all these assumptions that, oh, holidays is great, but like they're gonna be very stressful. You have to make the right food. And then also, if your child or children, or you or your child's children, have special
That's,
diets, right?
yes,
All of a
it's a
sudden,
whole
like,
different
no, they can
layer.
eat the turkey and the stuffing and the this and the that, or whatever people are eating,
Hmm.
which is kind of really tricky. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And just taking pauses for yourself, really like doing your self care practices. I feel like oftentimes, in theory, when you go, if you do choose to go and celebrate with extended family, there are more people around. They could actually watch your kids while you take a 45-minute walk, which you don't normally get to take. So like
Hmm.
use your team, like
Right. Right.
ask for help if it's appropriate. Like
Hmm.
do an online yoga class, or you know whatever it is.
Right.
Do self-care, maintain self-care. I mean, I just
Absolutely.
came
Yeah.
back from visiting my mom in Florida, and like, even though my mom is pretty well, she's in some pain, but Um, even though she'd rather just have me around, sitting there chatting with her, helping her with little things, which I did plenty of, which was amazing. I took time every day and went to the gym. I have to do that.
Hmm.
Like that makes me a better person when I go to the
For
gym.
everyone.
And it's a nice gym, like
Absolutely.
do a little elliptical, lift a few weights, and just do some stretching. And then I come back and like I'm available. So it's that like go and then return and go and
Hmm.
then return. Also, because maybe you have more space for that. So I think the ultimate goal is have harmony, like starting with taking care of yourself, come back nourished. Like what a concept.
Hmm.
Come back from a family event feeling nourished rather than just like tapped out.
Depleted.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Hmm.
Totally. I think that's a good goal.
Yeah.
And also, like, if your family doesn't eat what you eat, make sure you have what you can eat there. Some people are gluten free, some people are not. Some people have, we all have all our special dietary needs. So, like, providing for yourself and your family
Hmm.
during the holidays, and then just coming back to that feeling of belonging in yourself throughout.
Hmm.
It's good. Anything else you want to say?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you
Hope
and
you
to
enjoy.
everyone. Yeah.
Hmm.